The RV Show USA is brought to you by Flagstaff, building better RVs, making smarter RV'ers. All right, Alan Warren, the RV Wingman here. You know, it never ceases to amaze me how people, good people, go into the RV lifestyle with a dream. And that dream sometimes turns into a nightmare. I talk about this almost every week, to take your time, do your homework, to not, well, just do your homework with the right RV, but choose the right RV dealer. To not do those things is not good. So what can happen when you don't do the proper research? We're going to run up to New York, line 2. Barb is on the line. Hiya, Barb.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. You know, I have read yours and your husband's story, and we have plenty of pictures ready to go for those watching the live stream. For those who have no idea of the hell that you two are going through, tell us your story quickly.
Well, we purchased a brand new coach in 2018. We purchased a Winnebago. We bought it because of the name and the quality and the workmanship that Winnebago is known for.
The reputation.
The reputation. And boy, did we make a big mistake. We did not do our homework. We have had so many issues with this coach, and we're trying to get the word out there. That's why we created our website, followourlemon.com.
Now, but before we get into the website and that kind of thing, tell me about your tell me a little bit about y'all's buying decision and your experience as RVers, and just so I can kind of get my head wrapped around, you know, where you're coming from.
Okay, well, I would consider us being newbies.
I was a camper. My parents were campers years back, and as a little boy, I watched, all these campers pull in that were Winnebagos, and they were the Cadillacs of camping back then. And so as I grew up and, I raised my kids and stuff, and as time passed and it came time for me to buy a camper, I thought Winnebago was still the grand Cadillacs of camping. So when it came time for us to buy one, I thought that would be the best and biggest, and that's why we decided to take a good look at them.
So you purchased off of pretty much off the brand. I mean, the equity that the brand had built. You didn't do a whole lot of homework, as I call it.
Well, we did some. We did a little bit of research, and not enough, obviously.
And we did go through a lot of campers, and we really loved the floor plan.
We still love the floor plan.
And it fit our lifestyle of what we were hoping to do.
Okay, so what were you assuming when you drove off the lot in your brand new Winnebago?
We assumed we'd be able to go camping.
We assumed wrong. Never thought that it would be back at the dealership so often to have a ton of stuff fixed that should never have rolled off the factory floor in the condition it was in.
I've gone camping 3 times. She's gone twice in the 2 years.
Goodness gracious. It's lived at the dealer, I guess, or in the garage for a long time. So tell me about when you took possession of your motorhome, your brand new baby, as I call it. Did you do a complete walkthrough? Was there anything wrong with it? Was it campground ready? Talk to me about that.
It was broken when we didn't know it was broken. We did a quick walkthrough. It was, it's one of those where you kick the tires, you run through it, you're so gaga over the vehicle you bought, you just want to grab it and go. So to your listeners out there, don't make that mistake. Look it over good. Everybody wants to get in that new vehicle and take it home and play with it. But look it over really good. And my suggestion is they ought to make videos for these things, because nobody wants to sit there and listen to all the things. They want to take them home and get them home and play with them at home. They ought to really make a video for these things so that they're not going to remember anything that these dealers show them.
Well, they're only going to remember like a quarter of it.
Yeah, they ought to make a video so that you can learn this stuff at home bit by bit.
But hang on just a second. If I read your website correctly, followourlemon.com, you had a known problem before you even took possession of it, in a broken control heater control valve or something.
Yep.
Why did you take the RV without having it fixed, Guy? I'm not jumping on you. I'm just wondering.
We were told that after we bought it.
Well, they called us the day before delivery, and they said, just take it to your local Ford dealer, and they can fix it. Well, we didn't know that there wasn't a local Ford dealer because they had to get this size rig into a bay, and not any local Ford dealer can work on it.
Your average Joe Ford dealer can't fit this in their garage.
So then we're talking to the Ford dealer, and the Ford dealer says, no, this is a Winnebago issue. So we call Winnebago. Winnebago goes, no, it's a Ford issue. So we went back and forth and back and forth. And meanwhile, the camper's sitting in our driveway, and when you turn the engine on, you're getting hit in the face with hot air.
In June or July.
Yeah.
So again, I wonder, why didn't the dealer, well, who was the dealer? Who'd y'all buy it from?
RV1 of Buffalo, New York.
They're a big outfit, too. They got stores all over the place.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
All over the country.
So I just wonder why they didn't fix it before they sold it to somebody. They took your money and didn't fix it and then blamed it on somebody else, told you to go someplace else to get it fixed. That doesn't seem, to me, it doesn't, number one, doesn't seem right of them to do it. But number two, I don't think y'all should have taken the thing with knowing that there was something like that needed to be fixed, except in your defense, you didn't know any better.
Right.
Right. We wanted our new camper. And we thought we could fix it locally real quick.
Right.
Put in a new half-an-hour fix at the local Ford dealership. We've got our new camper right here in town.
On our way, making reservations and going camping.
All right, so that didn't happen. So you left RV1, and what happened? How long after y'all left did you discover, maybe there's some more things going on with this thing that we don't want to know about, but tell me about it.
On the way home.
On the way home when that vent hit my feet.
Part of the dash fell off and hit her in the feet.
So it was just loose and fell off. So,
yeah.
Okay, keep going, because there's a big old long list on y'all's website.
Oh, my God, this is 30 pieces.
So then we've never left the driveway without an issue with this thing. We were getting ready to take it to a dealership to have all of this stuff fixed, and we get in it, and there's water all over the floor. Well, come to find out from the factory, they never connected the hoses up to keep them up out of the way when you pull the slide back in. So the slide actually crimped one of the water lines and caused the leak, and there was water everywhere in the coach.
Oh, my gosh.
We actually had to, Jack got underneath and looked under the sink, and he goes, well, they never hung the wires up from the factory, so when you put the slide back in, it's going to crunch them, and it's just going to keep leaking.
I didn't even know about the water damage. I guess I didn't see that on your website. So,
well, we got it in time. We got it cleaned up, so we really didn't have any water damage. And then because it's such a nice, beautiful rig, you can swivel the driver's seat around, and it becomes part of your living room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you do that,
they didn't make the wires quite long enough.
So it pulled the wires apart and touched the metal and sparked and arced and blew a breaker.
Oh, my God.
So that had to be fixed.
Tell me about, real quickly, Jack, tell me about the, as you're driving down the road and you hit a bump and a warning light came on, that something was going on. Describe for me what you were doing, because that when I read this, it's just horrifying. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the first time I was driving this, like I call it, a couch on wheels, looking through a picture window, through Buffalo traffic, all of a sudden all these warning lights and chimes and stuff come on at 70 miles an hour through Buffalo traffic. All these things come on, scared the crap out of me. It said that these hydraulic jacks were going down as I was driving it.
Okay, hey, you know what? Hang on. We're gonna let people hang on till the other side, and we'll complete that story. Barb and Jack Wilson from New York are with us. They're sharing their story, their rookie mistake they made when buying a brand new motorhome. It's a sad story, one that I hear all too often. On the other side, we're going to find out how the Wilsons have turned their lemon into lemonade, sorta. We'll find out what they want from the manufacturer and see what kind of advice that they have for others who are getting ready to buy their new RV. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, helping steer you away from sleazy dealers and towards the good ones right here on the RV Show USA. All right, we're back with Barb and Jack Wilson, who have been sharing their RV horror story with us. And while these kind of stories are, well, they're definitely in the minority, in my view, there are still way too many of them. So let's finish up the story. So, Jack, you said you guys are driving down the road in Buffalo traffic. You look down, and your automatic jacks are going down, brother, while you're actually driving.
Well, they weren't actually going down. They just gave me all the indications that they were going down.
Oh.
I realized after I didn't hear any grinding that they weren't actually going down because the foot brake, the hand brake, wasn't down, so therefore they couldn't be deploying. But every bump from there to Texas and back that I hit, the warning lights would go off.
I'll bet that had to scare you to death when you saw that thing first happening. You just your heart probably.
Times it would still give me a little bit of a heart spasm.
I bet it did. So, Barb, from the looks of the pictures on y'all's website at followourlemon.com, you guys have been spreading the joy about your experience, haven't you? Tell me about that.
Well, we're trying to take it good-heartedly.
We've been having a lot of fun with it. The reception of this has been great. People have been very good. They love getting those lemon head candies that we're handing out. And people have been very responsive to us, and we're very appreciative of that.
The absolute worst scenario of this is it has totally put a bad taste in overall camping in my wife's view. She's tired of it.
We took it back to the shop again today.
Yeah, with bungee straps holding up the rear of the motorhome.
Yeah.
Oh,
we have our beautiful 50-inch TV that we have above the fireplace, because we just got back from down south and the weather wasn't the greatest. So we were going to watch TV, and we lifted up the automatic mechanism to lift up that 50-inch TV, got about three-quarters of the way up, and crash, down it went.
And how many times have you used this? 3, you said, Jack? 3, 4?
I have used it 3 times. Barb has been in it twice. Her mother took ill when I took my 87-year-old parents, 85 and 86-year-old parents down to Texas and back to see their great-grandchildren that they hadn't really met. It was on their bucket list that I had to help them accomplish.
So it's still relatively new, and it sounds like it's just one problem after
new.
another.
Yeah. And we still got things on it we haven't even used yet. We tried to use the bunk bed the other day. We put some stuff on the top of it to store it, and we went to use the bunk bed to get the things out of it. And the bunk bed is all like it's only attached in 2 spots. It's hinged up there. I don't know. He thinks there's parts missing to the bunk bed.
So what does the dealer say? What does the manufacturer say? Because it sounds like to me y'all don't. I love you for being on the show. I promise I appreciate it so much. But it sounds like you're pretty easygoing. What is the dealer? What's the manufacturer telling you?
Well, we've been dealing with the Winnebago, the Northeast rep, and they have been good about fixing stuff. But our point is that the amount of money that we paid for this rig, it was definitely not worth it, because a lot of the stuff that's wrong with it, it came from the factory that way. So it was not worth the amount of money that we paid for it. And then, of course, because we've been using the wonderful CW, they can fix some things. They'll fix stuff that we didn't even know was wrong with it, and then they fixed it. And then when we went to winterize it, it didn't work. So they fixed the water pump, and we never reported an issue with the water pump. We went to winterize it, and the water pump wouldn't work, so we couldn't winterize.
Let me go back for a second and ask you. I would imagine that your RV with followourlemon.com on, I'm looking at a picture right now of it on the back side of a beautiful, beautiful Winnebago. That's got to be one heck of a conversation starter.
Oh, it is. It is.
Oh, yeah, we got to meet quite a few campers.
Yeah. We were in Myrtle Beach for a month. They offered a snowbird special for half price for camping. So we were there for a month, and we met a lot of nice people. But we also there's other people with horror stories out there.
There's a lot of people, these things they're like you say, they're going down the roads in hurricanes, and they're bound to break and have issues, but ours has more than most.
Who do you blame? Who do you ultimately blame, Barb and Jack, in this situation?
I in Winnebago. They built it.
Yes, they built it, and with all the lists on the website of all of the lists of the things that are out there, a lot of them should have been taught at the factory. Or, I guess I'd have to go to the factory and watch these workers build these things, and it appears to be no quality control. We blame the dealer for not doing the pre-delivery inspection.
Yeah, that was.
We got down south last year, and we had to be back home at the end of March, and we found out that the furnace didn't work. The furnace had never worked.
The smoke detectors had never been hooked up. The batteries weren't in them. The little yellow tab had never been pulled out of the smoke detectors. So, God forbid, when the furnace didn't work, we started using the fireplace for a source of heat. So I luckily said, better check the smoke detectors, make sure they're working. Luckily I did, because they had not been working. And now we're finding out that there was a fire extinguisher that had never been legal.
Let me see if I kind of have this picture straight, if I can. Let me just say this. So we have a manufacturer that you think didn't do the proper job of building a quality coach that you guys were going to pay for, good money for.
Correct.
And it was just, they cut too many corners. The dealer didn't find the corners that they cut. The dealer should have at least seen some of these things and fixed them and made it more campground ready. But then...
Well, yeah, the idea of the jacks going down was actually just the hydraulic fluid was too low. It should have been caught on the PDI.
And what about your responsibility? Again, do you guys take any of the responsibility for getting in this situation? Not trying to be ugly here. Just
we bought it.
What's the takeaway? What's the takeaway for other RVers? If you
the takeaway is to, in capital letters, do your homework, read your contract. Do not sign it. Read the front and read the back. And everything that's out there is there for a reason, and you need to read the warranty as well. And take your time. Hire an inspector, and I would hire an inspector in a heartbeat, whether I was buying new or whether I was buying used. And if you think you're getting a great deal, walk away from it.
Don't be hasty.
Sleep on it. Make sure it's really what you want to do. And if you take a day and walk away, you're going to start questioning, is this really what I want to do? Is this really the coach for us? And I would actually stay in it for at least an hour on the lot, even if it's in the showroom floor.
Okay.
Shower.
Because we're going to run out of time here. I think that you have given terrific advice. However, if the Barb and Jack Wilson of today, if you were to meet those people 2 years ago before you bought your Winnebago, and they were to tell you this, do you think you would have even listened to them, or did you, you'll figure it out?
Nope, I definitely would have listened to them.
She would have listened to them.
Yeah.
I can be real stubborn.
Yeah. Well, okay. And finally, are y'all? It sounds like you're not interested in RVing anymore, or.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would consider it, but a lot has to happen for me to really get back into it. But like I said, we met a lot of really great people, and we had fun. We're making the best of a really bad situation, and we want Winnebago to step up and do the right thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask, in about 10 or 15 seconds, what are you hoping for? At the end of the day, what are you hoping for, guys?
I want Winnebago to write a check and buy it back.
And then I want to get my wife to go back to camping again.
Oh, that's good. Well, I wish you the very, very best. Thank you so much, and we're out of time. Thanks for sharing your story, and, I hope you have a great outcome, all right?
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
All right, you take care. For our listeners and viewers who would like to follow along on their on the journey of Barb and Jack Wilson, just go to their website, and they've got it's a pretty nice little website, pictures, story, the whole deal, called Follow Our Lemon. Put it all together, followourlemon.com. So we're going to leave it there. Again, thank you so much. As I mentioned in the show a little bit earlier, the Wilsons, as bad a situation as they are in, they seem to have a pretty good attitude. Again, you can keep up with them at followourlemon.com. By the way, if anybody from RV1, from Winnebago would like to come on the show, We would love to hear from you, and you do have an open invitation. That's going to do it for today's program. I hope you enjoyed it, that you will connect with us on social media. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, give us a like and make sure you turn those notifications on so you'll never miss a beat. Until next week, I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, reminding you to be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave those good manners at home. So long, everybody.
The